All right. So any of the other recent trades in any of the leagues, you think they were dumbs?
Okay, let's talk about this. What the hell happened in Dynasty Gurus where now everybody's on and they're making every single fucking possible trade out there? Like, Jesus Christ. All of a sudden people are like, oh shit, the draft's around the corner, so we're going to trade. Yeah. But I want to talk to you about this one I got from Will. And
well, he probably showed it to me.
I was actually I was a little offended that he sent it to me to begin with. It's a trade you would send me, thinking I was stupid enough to fucking take it. So I would get Nick Chubb, the tight end for Pittsburgh. I can't. Frymouth, whatever. And then 2024 103. Okay, so high draft pick.
Yep.
But then I give him Mixon. I give him my 104. I give him 2025 2 and a 3. And then in 2026, I also give him a 3. So I give him the main running back for Houston, right?
Yeah.
I love Mixon.
And Chubb's not going to play to start the year.
Right.
So.
And then Frymouth is kind of whatever. But
then, and again, just with the format, tight end is...
It is no premium on it, so it's nothing crazy. And then, I mean, granted, I move up one spot in the first round. That spot's not going to do anything.
I've already told you that even if you stayed there, that you and him had different people in mind, anyways, that you wanted. But
so, and I like Chubb too, right? But that injury was really bad.
Yeah.
So it's just like, why the fuck would I give you Joe Mixon, who last year there was 2 games where he put over 50 points, and then I get a hurt running back and I move up one spot, and then I give you a bunch of 2s and 3s too. It's just dumb. Right. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me with this bullshit.
And you never, him and Jackson, dude, you never know. That complain all the time in the world to decide who they want for picks, and then like. And when they're on the clock, they take forever.
So when you were asking me, and then we would run through those mocks, right, of like who I would pick, I was like, I don't know why you would even fucking care, because you have like the first pick, and then that's kind of it, right? For the rookie draft for that league.
Yeah.
So it's just because of Will, basically. He wants to know.
And then I mean, you got Kobe right after you. Yeah, I mean, I'm just seeing,
It's okay. I actually have a couple picks I did not tell you about, so we'll see. We'll see.
What do you mean?
You think I'm just going to tell you who I'm going to pick so that you can tell Kobe and Will? Well, I gave you the picks I was thinking about at the time, and I was like, maybe. I have set picks. Even when we run through mock drafts, you think I'd give you exactly who I'm taking?
I tell you who I'm taking.
I know.
And just like when we're streaming now, I tell everyone everything.
Yeah, hey, when we're streaming, it's different. I give you more or less exactly what I'm thinking, and whatever. When we're doing our mocks, it's like, all right, this is who's fallen to me. Here's who I'm kind of thinking about.
Yeah. I mean, so like there are times I change because I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have took that guy too early. But in the beginning, like you saw the redraft, I want a late first.
Yep.
Give me Garrett Wilson or Marv, and then Drake in the second, some kind of combo like that. Cooper Kupp in the third is disrespectful. It's so disrespectful where they got him and then Herbert, like QB like 20 or something ridiculous. Before he got hurt, he had multiple top 5 performances. So
yeah,
I'm gonna smash worse than I did or better than I did last year.
And the hype is real this year for Quentin Johnston too.
Yeah,
I've heard lots of good things coming out of camp for him. Now, hopefully, it's not all coach speak, but I've heard a lot of good things.
Yeah, and
they're hurting running back wise for that team too, so they have to throw it.
Yeah,
because Teddy just went down.
And like I'll watch and just listen to what people say about camp there, the Chargers, the Patriots.
Yep.
Get as many highlights as I can while I'm doing stuff. Just listening to what they have to say, and he's been good. McConkey's had some good routes.
Yep.
But okay, then let's talk about in Gurus. Who, I mean, I think 4 is kind of obvious. My thing is, though, what if Harry... I mean, now that not ZCal, but Jay Pacheco's up there, who are you looking at? Who are you looking at for then? Assuming Caleb... Well, again, I'm taking Marv, and then Neighbors is gone.
Right. It'll probably be a wide receiver at 4, and then I'm going to take a quarterback at 7. I think I have 6 or 7. I mean that's what I'm doing going into it. Right. I'm getting a wide receiver and a quarterback. Those could be flipped depending on what happens in the first 3. Right. Because you never know. Like. Even when we're doing like the regular drafts, right? Some people jump for absolutely no reason, and we could see some crazy trades going into this. But I know I'm staying where I'm at. I'm not planning on moving back or anything unless somebody sends me something nuts.
I mean, so yeah, who's on your radar then at 4? Assuming the top 3 are gone.
Wide receiver.
So
I'm looking at a couple wide receivers and I'm looking at a couple quarterbacks. So we have another couple days and I have my ear really close to the training camp thing because I'm listening out for a lot of these rookie quarterbacks and what people are saying about them.
Yeah,
I've only heard bad things about almost all of them except for two of the quarterbacks.
Okay.
So I'm nervous that I was looking at my quarterback of the future in this draft. So that's where my nerves are a little bit, but we'll see. I guess we could just say this because I've only heard bad things about Jaden Daniels. I've only heard bad things about the Patriots quarterback
Drake May.
It's bad stuff too, especially about Drake May.
And now I've heard bad things about Brissett there too. Like I was listening to someone talk about their training camp last night, and I guess he started 0 for 8.
Yeah, and I heard Drake May's only throwing interceptions. That's all he's throwing.
And I'm trying to think. There was someone I heard about. He had. Oh, I think it was Trey Lance. He had like 3 picks in a row in the Cowboys training camp.
No, obviously you're really, really hoping that a lot of this is just rust, right? They finally have some cash. Yeah. They went on vacation. They're just getting into the training camp mode. It's just rust. But I've heard some really good things about Caleb, right? That he's just slinging it. But he's got great people to sling it to. So that's what you kind of hope for. And I've heard really good things about JJ. But then at the same time, Sam Darnold apparently is doing really well. So but JJ's gonna sit for probably a year. That's what KFC is saying. He doesn't even want to play him at all this year, which is I'm fine with as a Vikings fan. Fantasy kind of pisses me off a little bit. Yeah. So if I go JJ, that means who I have at quarterback needs to stay at quarterback for the year, and I have one. I have Kirk Cousins, and that's kind of it. So that's kind of what I have to think about. I haven't heard anything about Bo Nix. I don't know about you. No. And I haven't heard anything about
Michael Penix.
No,
I haven't.
So for some reason that's quieted. I don't know if they're really fully into it at this point yet. Maybe that's why we haven't heard anything.
Yeah. Well, today'd only be like day 3 at camp.
Yeah. But those are the only 2 people I haven't heard anything about. So I'm waiting and I'm hoping to hear something about them. Because I wouldn't mind getting a Bo Nix. I liked Bo Nix. I liked his tape for the most part.
Yeah.
I don't like having a Broncos quarterback and relying on that.
I can't see you taking Bo Nix, though, in this draft over JJ.
No, I can't. I can't take a Bronco over a Viking.
I mean, it's kind of a win-win then. If he's good, it's good for your team. If he's bad, then you give Jackson shit for another few seasons until they figure it out. But
the problem is the team name is on two wins, right? And his team is pretty fucking good, unfortunately.
Average.
It's average, but he keeps winning when
he got lucky last year.
He wins this time. league's done.
He ain't gonna beat me.
You've been almost last 2 years in a row.
No.
So
I almost beat him in the playoffs the first year. And that was with trash receivers. And this year, no. Marv, Drake.
We'll see. We'll see.
Hammers.
We'll see.
Tank Dell.
So, yeah. I don't know. But, and then with Rome, I really like Rome too. You know, I've been super high on Rome. The problem is, if I take Rome, he might not play a lot until week 6.
No.
So, I might have to long play it. The only problem is I don't have a ton of picks going later because I've always tried to make those big runs in the playoffs that don't. So, that's also kind of one of my thoughts going forward too with some of my trading and stuff. I get way too close to the end, and then it's fuck it, right? Because I need my first win. It's all in, right? It's like fucking playing poker, and then it doesn't work out and stuff. I need to chill a little bit on those, trading some of those picks, unless I'm getting something crazy back.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, August 1st and the 2nd and so on. It will be interesting times. Can't wait.
Ooh, I can't wait too. Yeah, because we have fucking 3 drafts going on this upcoming week, basically.
Yeah. Rookie drafts.
Drafts. Yeah. But they should be quick.
And at least the first round will be, because, I got a lot of picks, and I kind of know. I mean, I've known for months my guys.
Right.
So.
And as bad as it is, there is one league that we have that I could not care less about, and I think I paid attention to very minimally, even though I was like front running even when I wasn't checking it. The league that I have, the 3 tight ends.
Yeah.
That they were making fun, and I actually made a pretty decent run.
We got third or whatever.
Yeah.
Third, I think.
Without fucking checking it, so that's pretty stupid. But I know, like, that's one league I could almost care less about.
Yeah.
Do you have a league of ours that you kind of just don't care about? It's probably that one.
Probably the 10-man, because
okay.
Just because it's 10 people, and yeah, I just don't like how it's like you either in a 10-man league you either got to have an absolute hammer like Tyreek Hill, Bijan Robinson or whatever, or else so many other players are just kind of the same.
Sure.
So any week they could be good, could be bad.
Yeah.
And in that league, I had so many bullshit close losses, and again, that's why I love the median. I would have gotten screwed. Well, the first year we didn't. The second year we did.
Yeah.
Just like in the redraft that I started 4-10 in, I'm just getting beat. Everyone's giving me their best week. That's why I love median.
Here's what I was gonna ask you. As far as like rules changes and stuff like that, off the top of your head, is there any rules changes that we should add into bring up at least going into this week when we're gonna be busy with drafts and stuff like that? Where it's like, maybe we should add this rule.
Well, in players only or best ball, if you guys want to do the no switcheroos, and then I guess any league we do vote to veto.
Yeah, I guess we
want
to
take that off if people are going to bitch.
But
the only reason I did it is so people could have a say.
Yeah.
But all the leagues, again, July 31st, I'll go down to trades go through instantly.
Yep.
And after that, I think I'm just going to do 1 day instead of 2 they process.
That's fine.
Again, I still think it'll be like, okay, the day the trade was accepted, the 1 day of process, and then it goes through. So it won't be like next day still. But yeah, I guess 2 days is just longer than necessary.
Right. Yeah, and then I guess the only thing I would say when we do make that message for unload or whatever in some of those leagues for the vetoing and stuff, be like, we can take this away and that's fine, but if it's a bullshit trade, that's up to the commissioners at that point. Then
well, right, that's the thing. Then it's our say. If they don't want to say, they don't have. Fuck them.
Right.
Like that's the whole point.
Right. So I feel like that's something that we have to worry. Like, hey, we could take this away because all you guys bitched about it.
Yeah.
However, you make a bullshit trade, and as commissioners, we do a vote between ourselves, and we think it's bullshit. We're gonna veto it.
Yeah.
So, you're giving us more power, basically. It's something we have to kind of.
Yeah. Right. But that's the whole. That's the whole point. Is you guys are giving us more power,
which
for like no reason, but
because I know like this year, I'm playing it. I'm playing fantasy, and that's it. Like all the bullshit and crying and stuff like that. I'm not dealing with it this year.
Yeah.
It was bad last year. Last year was really bad with some of the people we were playing with. Now, granted, a lot of them, they're gone. We don't have to deal with them anymore.
Yeah.
I remember that one morning. It was like fucking 6 o'clock in the morning. I was at work, and my phone is going off like fucking crazy because somebody decided they were going to make a trade the night before. Why isn't it processing? Why isn't it processing? Process the fucking trade. It's like, dude, the vote hasn't even fucking finished yet.
Yeah.
Chill out. You know the rules. You know how it processes.
Yeah.
You're not going to have them for this week.
And then
should have made the trade in before.
I think we had, maybe we were talking about the basketball league or something similar. Like there was constantly people crying about trades. Can you please process? No, a couple of days, dude.
It'll process on its own. You can see the rules. You can see exactly how long it takes to process. Yeah. There's even a fucking timer if you go to your trades. It tells you, hey, in 24 hours, it will be processed.
Yeah,
and
then it's funny too because I remember in basketball, again, one just it did the day, it did the waiting period or whatever, it went through, and then the guy was like thanking me, like dude, I didn't process it. You just waited the time, and again, the whole time the whole point of a timer, is just so that people can voice their opinions if there is any.
Right.
And then it slows down if you are doing something bad. You don't do like 20 bad trades because then that's a mess, putting everyone, in the right spot.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
And then too, like, I remember maybe it was right after the season was over or somewhere in the off season when Jackson and I were looking at things and like moving stuff around or whatever. That were like, hey, if anybody comes up with any rule changes they want to see, let us know. Nobody says shit, but then they'll complain all season. Let's change this, just change that. All right.
No.
Wait the year. There's no point in changing rules mid-season because that's, and even though some of the changes we would have made wouldn't have been unfair, but it's like you can't just change a rule mid-season.
Yeah, and that's, it's just like in our 10-man. That's will to a T too. It won't, voice it publicly, but to me privately, just behind the scenes, always bitching.
Right.
We should change this. We should do this. But then I'll ask them all off. Any opinions? Any change? Oh, it's fine, man.
Yeah.
But then I know as soon as week one rolls around,
right. It's just like
bitching.
It's
That's
like
why
you don't really have to raise it publicly.
Yeah.
It's like I always put, hey, just DM one of the commissioners and we'll talk about it and we'll raise a vote and stuff. And then like even with the league you made up, right, for the 16 man, somebody was in my DMs. Hey, why can't we trade? I was like, this is Vince's league. Go ask him. If you want to trade, ask him. He's like, I don't want to do that. All right, well that's not gonna happen then. It's not my league. I'm just here to watch.
And that's right. That's kind of something too, right? If I ever did fantasy football with Will again, it's like, dude, you're gonna be the commissioner. We're gonna have your rules. If you want to change something, you can.
Right.
Then I don't have to listen to any bitching. Then last week I reset all the fantasy football, or I renewed all the leagues that hadn't been renewed yet. yesterday because I got a message from someone in our fantasy football basketball league.
Oh, really?
He said it. He again talking about trades and stuff. He was a bad cheater, basically.
Oh.
You hardly said anything to him, and he like just went after you for like no reason.
Oh, because he made the one trade and then he traded him again because it was his favorite fucking player.
Yeah.
That dude.
Yeah, but like both trades, one was like blocked, then they fixed it to make it a little bit better, and it just yeah. The dude was clearly trading, and like he was like sending me messages out of the blue, so I took everyone out of there because I think he's got like another alt account in there or a buddy or something that's like gave me his information, so I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
I was surprised you even kept the winner because I was kicking fucking everybody out of all the leagues whenever I would renew them. But I did see you kept the winner
in the 6-man. Yeah. But everyone else, every other league is toast, gone. Yeah. But right, just so in the 6-man the guy can defend his title basically. And in the 6-man there was no bitching. There was no.
It was fine.
I mean, it was a little annoying that there was like no activity at all out of half the league. But,
right.
Yeah.
I will say too. Maybe this isn't necessary for stream, but nobody's in here anyway yet. But the big dog one that I made up, right? It was supposed to be like our first money league to whatever. Well, nobody was paying into it anyway, but then it was also impossible to get everybody. For some reason, nobody was joining. And I kind of learned how to do it better for next year, or we could even do it this year if we wanted to. But how to make it so that we can actually do a legitimate money league when people actually pay in and not just ghost it or whatever. So we can play with that if we want to this year or next year. There was one dude that paid in, and I kind of feel bad because I nuked that fucking league. I tried refunding his money and everything. It's $10, so it's kind of whatever. But his $10 is just in fucking limbo. It's like I can't refund it until the 31st of December.
Well, I mean, at least he'll get his money back then.
Yeah. He just gets it after Christmas.
Yeah, talking about money leagues, Brandon's brother. His brother and his friend now are trying to do a league with noobs. That's why we didn't get invited last year. And
because Brandon's they only wanted noobs?
Yeah, Brandon's brother is trying to get Brandon, who's never played fantasy football before, to play. And he tells them, Vince is interested. No, we're looking for new blood. We're trying to grow the scene.
We were almost last all year.
Well, I got again in the playoffs, and
I'm surprised he didn't ask for me to come back at least for being fucking last place almost the whole time.
Now, if you remember, for like half the season, right? You had the bitch schedule, even though you were like third in points.
Yep.
Some nuts like that, and almost.
So they were basically afraid that we were actually gonna win. Or make it competitive.
and him and his buddy, not the buddy that won the league and the commissioner, but a different buddy, have never won a fantasy football league. So they were literally recruiting only noobs.
A lot of fucking losers.
Do a money league, yeah. So that's why we didn't get invited last year, and why we're not invited this year.
That ESPN app was fucking awful anyway.
I don't miss it at all. I don't miss it at all.
I remember that one week where I was like, dude, your lineup is completely fucked. You have fucking Alvin Kamara.
And then I'm like, what are you talking about? I sent you a screenshot.
I'm like, I don't know.
Dude, and then there was one Thursday night where the game had started, but I think for the Saints, I had Kamara or something, and I could still switch people around.
Yeah.
So there was I wasn't smart enough to do it, but there was a tight end.
Yep.
That had 2 touchdowns right away, and people were saying online to do this to cheat. Right. Yeah. You could have put picked him up, put him in your lineup mid game. Because that fucking app sucks.
Well, it was awful. It was impossible to do any research on free agency or anything because the free agency window was completely fucked.
Yeah.
I'm sure maybe it was better online. I don't know. I should have looked at that, but it was impossible to get good rankings for free agency. Who's actually available because they had people that on other people's teams on the free agent site. It's dude, what the fuck is this nonsense?
Yeah. I don't miss it.
No. Sleeper
don't
only.
miss it, don't need it.
Sleeper only. That was awful.
All right.
Let's do it.
So this is the one you sent me.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. Top 10 wide receivers going into 2024 NFL season.
I don't know did you watch it at all?
Nope.
So there's a part 2
So this
to
is
it.
a total blind reaction for me.
Here are the top 10 wide receivers going into the 2024 NFL season. An honorable mention to Mike Evans, who just had his 10th straight 1,000-yard season and doing it with 6 different quarterbacks. And at number 10, I have Puka Nacua. He's probably coming off one of the greatest rookie seasons of all time. He broke the rookie receiving record for yards and receptions in a single season. He's the clear wide receiver one in this offense, even having out-targeted
Whoa. Clear number 1 over Cooper Kupp? That's disrespectful now. Cooper Kupp's 31, but dude, look at his number. He had like a few bum weeks, so did Puka.
Yeah.
After that, Cooper had a lot of great weeks.
So,
that's why I can't wait to take him this year.
So, just think of it at redraft-wise. How disrespectful is it to have Mike Evans on honorable mention versus in the top 10?
Well, right away over Puka.
Right.
In a redraft. Dude, Puka is going to be like the biggest bust in redraft leagues. Just watch.
I really think that he could be a dark horse candidate to lead the league in receiving yards.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
And at number 9, I have Garrett Wilson. And I'm 100% higher on Garrett Wilson than pretty much anyone in this space. But last year was supposed to be his breakout year, but he was in a horrible situation. The metrics show that he's elite versus man coverage, and I think with Aaron Rodgers fully healthy, he'll make a case for why he could be a top 5 wide receiver in this league. And at number 8, I have Amon-Ra St. Brown. He doesn't admire how consistent he is on a week-to-week basis, but I do feel that a lot of his production is due to the offense and the fact that he primarily runs in the slot. This is what makes him such a good fantasy option, but I just don't see a world where he can cement himself as a top 5 wide.
I would like to point out, too, so I was a little confused at first whether we were talking about fantasy or not, and then, like, here he's finally talking about fantasy football. I wasn't sure if we were talking about fantasy football or just straight up skill.
Right.
So.
Wide receiver in this league. And in 7th place, I have Brandon Ayuk. He ranked 30th in the league in targets, but still finished the year with 1,300 yards.
Whoa.
He is by far the most efficient wide receiver.
Ayuk over St. Brown and Wilson.
Yards per route run, 2nd in yards per target, yards per reception, and expected points added. He's worth every penny for whatever team that will pay him. And in the 6th spot, I have CeeDee Lamb, and this is not because I don't.
He was the wide receiver 1 last year.
The guys above him, I just prefer a little bit more.
They didn't get anyone.
Here are the top 10 wide receivers
Oh.
going into
Yeah, it's one of those
2024
stupid
NFL
ones that
season.
you mix. I didn't even go to see that.
I gotta see 5. I gotta see 5 through 1. Will this give me the watched?
Do that one, yeah.
Here are the top 5 wide receivers going into the 2024 NFL season, and if you haven't checked out part 1, make sure you go do that. But at number 5, I have A.J. Brown. I would not be mad if you put CeeDee Lamb here, but they play 2 completely different positions. CeeDee Lamb plays on the inside and in the slot, and A.J. Brown plays on the outside. But I think A.J. Brown is just a more complete wide receiver. He's the more physical of the 2, better route runner, and he's consistently played on teams with lower passing volumes, giving him the number 5.
See, like I was just saying, so now we're talking about wide receiver skill over whether we think they'll do better in fantasy with this list. Like, it's kind of going back and forth.
I spot on this list. And at number 4, I have Devontae Adams. Last year we saw a slight dip in production and efficiency, but honestly,
Nah, you can't put him up here with the quarterback position.
Midway through the year, he played with 3 different quarterbacks, and overall, just because a wide receiver has better stats, it does not mean that he's better. We all know Adams is still at the top of his game. And at number 3, I have Jamar Chase, or like he says, Mr. 7-Eleven, because he's always open. The injury to Joe Burrow definitely limited his production, but with the healthy Joe Burrow, he could go for 200
yards in any week, and he's my pick to become the first receiver to break 2,000 yards
in a single season. And at number 2, give me Tyreek Hill. No one stresses the defense out more than Tyreek Hill, and he was PFF's highest rated.
Oh my God! So he's gonna go JJ Watt.
3.72 yards per route run last year, and the pairing between him and Mike McDaniel is the reason why the Dolphins are the number 1 offense in the league last year. And the first spot is reserved for Justin Jefferson, who played 8 full games last year and still put up 1,000 yards. He's hands down by far the best wide receiver in this league.
No Chris Olave.
Which
No Cooper
that
Kupp.
I'm okay with. That I'm not okay with. People care about that he got hurt too much last year.
Yeah.
Here are the top 10 wide receivers going into 2024 NFL season.
Hold on, click on the.
10 straight 1,000 yard seasons.
Just go to the end of the video if you can. So how do you feel AJ Brown being over some of these guys?
Well, again, if we're talking about fantasy football, you got to put St. Brown and Lamb in front of them just because they'll get a lot of short passes, PPR.
Yeah.
I like Wilson over him. And yeah, that's where I'm at basically.
Like, and I love JJ. You can't have him at 1 this year.
Right.
Because you don't know about the quarterback situation.
Exactly.
So that's kind of where I am. Chase at 3 is kind of hard because Joe Burrow's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's going to get the ball every single time.
Yeah.
You got to wait to see if Joe Burrow's fully healthy. I don't know if you saw him go to training camp looking like Eminem.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Blonde hair, yeah.
And Tyreek Hill should be 1. I think Tyreek Hill should be number 1 in every draft.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
But no Cooper Kupp, and then Mike Evans being an honorable mention.
Yeah, the wide receiver I like a lot this year that doesn't get mentioned at all, Drake London. He'll finish top 10. Keep sleeping. This one's obvious, yeah. Oh yeah, Donnie Mitchell, yeah. The 3rd round wide receiver, yeah, he's really gonna take a lot of targets away. I mean, he's like a 4th or 5th round pick, so he's way down there. This one I'm okay with. Again, I think he's better, more valuable in best ball because I do think week to week he'll be up and down. Like I've always said.
Just so I'm correct on this, the new wide receiver for the Chiefs is on a players to avoid list.
I guess. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you got the best quarterback in almost football history.
7th round and 7th, 8th.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Last year wasn't his best, but he's so far down. And again, Eckler's so far down. That's won't be used a lot because of Brian Robinson there. Yeah, that's why they signed him for $11 million a year.
So
to sit behind Brian Robinson.
All right, so Pittman, obviously, I mean, he's out of the league now anyway. Keenan Allen. In the 4th round, who else are you going to really take for wide receiver depth at that point? Xavier Worthy, though, being almost in the 8th round, especially because we play a lot of best balls, he's almost a must-take. You have one of the best quarterbacks taking him.
Yeah.
There's nobody else there to catch the ball besides Travis Kelce, and everybody's going to be guarding Kelce.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's stupid. But the thing that really actually pisses me off is the Pollard and Eckler. I'm sure you've kind of noticed when we've been doing mocks and stuff, if Pollard's there, I've been taking him. Spears isn't going to take any carries away from Pollard.
So then what do you think of that Spears for Bryce Young trade?
It's stupid as fuck. Let's be honest.
Anyways.
But, and then Eckler is a fucking nuts running back. Now, he had a pretty bad season last year, which is probably what's taking him down a little bit, but he's still fucking Austin Eckler.
I got some kind of notification, but I don't have the thing going.
Sounded like Nintendo.
Yeah, or I think that was like the following thing, so yeah. It says no one's watching, but I got a follower somehow. Anyways. Again, I think Eckler, though, is the starter.
Yep.
And, yeah.
Brian Robinson's not. that good anyway.
Yeah.
He had a couple.
I don't think they bring in Eckler. I think they just draft someone if they like Brian Robinson. Honestly,
he had 2 good games, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe 3. Because I know I had him in one of our leagues.
And he's not much of a passing down back like Eckler, so.
Right.
Yeah. Let's keep going.
12 teams who reflect start 11. Kincaid at a mid 27 second or Andrews at a mid 26 first.
Okay, so first off, before we even dissect the trade, the first thing that annoys me about this video is you're saying 2 years out, you know that's going to be a mid 26 first, and then 3 years out, you know that's going to be a mid 27 second. Kind of hard, a lot can happen week to week.
Right.
Now, you're going to tell me, oh, that team, he'll be middle of the pack in 2 years? I don't know about that. And then for me, my thinking is just Andrews. I've seen the video. They agree with me. Andrews in a first over Kincaid in a second. Because also the second is 3 years away.
Yeah.
3 seasons away. Like, that's forever.
Yeah.
Just a second. And it's like, by the time Andrews is old and crappy, then just spend the first on the new hot tight end.
I'm leaning more on the Kincaid side.
I did it first, but I don't know,
I agree. The only problem is like if I'm thinking about how I build my teams, right? I go really heavy on my wide receiver depth. I'm usually pretty decent quarterback, and running back I'm always whatever. So if I can have a stud tight end for the next 5 years, and then
so let me ask you this then. Okay, if you had Kincaid and I sent you a trade for Andrews and a 26 first, would you take that trade?
Wait, say that again?
If you had Kincaid
Yep.
and I sent you a trade for Mark Andrews and a 26 first.
No, I'm not taking it.
Okay.
No. Even then, I still think 26 is too far away to be thinking about for somebody's first.
No, I think there's still some value.
Yeah, there's some value, but I don't think it's as high as you're putting onto it because Mark
But
Andrews only plays half a season, if that, on any season. You take him more often than not.
I did 1 year, and that was dumb. But, just
But
trade for the backup.
look, and I took Likely right in our draft recently.
Yeah.
I don't even think Likely's that great either. I agree. Take the depth, but 26 is too far out. I'd rather just have the better tight end that's gonna give me a lot more points than Mark Andrews.
You think Kincaid's gonna in a redraft? You think Kincaid is gonna do
dynasty.
way better?
This is
right.
I think over the next okay, we'll do it this way, right? I'll say that Kincaid will outscore Mark Andrews for the next 3 years.
I'm not gonna guarantee that. Yeah.
And that'll cancel out that first because then I easily made up all my money back.
Yeah, I guess that's where we're different. Where I think the two will be pretty similar for 2 years, and then I get a first. You think Kincaid is the solid.
Plus, I don't have to deal with it.
So then in players only, I got Kincaid, or no. There's one league I got Kincaid.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what you would give me for. You would give me a 26 first and
Mark Andrews.
I think we I think we should do that trade actually in Gurus.
Well, I had Kincaid and I traded him.
I think I have him.
I might have traded him to you. I picked him up last year. in the draft, and then I traded him to.
Oh.
I thought I traded him to Eric.
Well, I'm talking about the 12-team Gurus, not the 10.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No.
I mean, I don't have a first, but
Not even in 26?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think I even the one that I have the 3 tight ends in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have his first until 2026, maybe 27.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you have Kincaid. I'll give you Mark Andrews.
All right. Yeah, we'll do this trade later then. Good to know. Oh, okay. I guess we can.
This is Andrews and mid-26 first. I think we will both agree on that.
Yeah, that's not even close for me. I mean, yeah, give
So again, I don't like this is close.
Yeah.
I don't like him saying this isn't
27
close.
second, but this is putting a lot of stock into just betting Dalton Kincaid is way better. It's at 20.
And then like he agrees with you. Like if you think Kincaid is just going to be flat out better, then
Well,
then
and he's
yeah.
saying he's going to be significantly better. I'm not saying it's significant, but you get him for a longer term, right? You get him for at least another 6 years versus 2,
yeah.
Potentially. And the significantly better is going to be the injury part. Kincaid, granted it's only been a year, wasn't out for an extended period of time for injury.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews been out for the last 3 years because of injury.
Right.
So,
That's in the second shade. It's not even like a 25. You know what I mean? It's 27. So it's almost like I'm borrowing truly from the future. But yeah, give me the first swap there.
12 teams you're
bring
fine.
it. Yeah, I'll make that trade any day.
This is not a breakout to me if Calvin Ridley is sitting anywhere relative to the top 36 or the top 24. He's being drafted as a wide receiver 40 in the 7th round. I've taken him in every mock draft we've ever done. And I don't think Calvin Ridley, because of the age, because of the Will Levis and Tennessee factor, I don't think he's moving in the draft. I don't think I could have a whole show on Calvin Ridley. I don't know if he's moving. I believe that Calvin Ridley, with Will Levis, with what they're handing over, offensive-wise, no Derrick Henry, I think Calvin Ridley's guaranteed to outperform his ADP. I really do. He was tied for the 5th most 20-plus yard targets among all wide receivers last year. Will Levis loves to throw the deep ball. Against zone coverage, 23% of all his attempts for 20-plus yards down the field. That's number 1 in the NFL.
Okay, so I'm not as annoyed with hearing about Calvin Ridley this year because everyone's kind of shut up, except a few videos like this. But last year, dude, oh my God, Calvin Ridley. Not even with the same team because he
He doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and the 2 years before that, he hardly played because of suspensions, injuries. So, yeah, he's just.
And then
Yeah.
he's kind of basically saying that Calvin Ridley is going to take D-Hop's role.
Which isn't
you
gonna,
can't.
I'm not gonna bet on that,
You
right?
can't do that.
look at the bottom comment there. Rather have D Hop, tons
yeah.
of likes.
Exactly. Well, and look, I'm a Will Levis hater, and I know that you're more in that Will Levis train than I am. He had one good game.
Yeah.
So did Josh Dobbs. Josh Dobbs had a lot better of that one game than he did. Will Levis is not very good. And he showed it the rest of the season. He had the one really good game because nobody else had tape on him besides college.
Yeah.
But it's different, right? Gardner Minshew has a great first game out of the gate. Josh Dobbs, great first game out of the gate. You saw how that went the rest of the year. All backups have a really good first game out of the bat when the starter gets hurt.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened here with Will Levis. And Will Levis was not very good the rest of the season. He just wasn't.
Yeah. So, I guess instead of arguing about Will Levis, long story short, we both agree Calvin Ridley is not someone to target. Especially late in drafts, too. Calvin Ridley or take a shot at Kincaid, take a shot on Ladd McConkey,
Yeah.
Quentin Johnson. I would much rather...
Calvin Ridley just disappoints every single game.
Even like some of the Packers receiver, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, I would rather take a shot on than Calvin Ridley. Like, I don't want to waste my pick, honestly, on a guy I'm hoping is just average.
Right.
I'd rather bet on some upside.
Well, and I don't even think he's necessarily average anymore. He
Yeah.
just hasn't done anything. And, we don't have to argue about the Will Levis thing, but it plays a part with JJ, right? I'm not high on JJ this year either, like you, because you don't know about that quarterback play. You don't know if Sam Darnold is actually going to sling it. You don't know if JJ is ever actually going to play to throw to JJ, right? You don't know if Will Levis can get past all the drama that he's had in the offseason and actually be able to play.
I'm surprised you didn't tell me about any of that. Like I
really?
know some of the Will Levis stuff. I'm surprised though you never sent me a video or anything.
It was all over my Twitter. I've seen more of his dick than everybody else's on Twitter. Because that's all I saw.
All right.
It's going to be a shotgun offense with a couple of small running backs. He's going to have it, he's going to run through the air with those little running backs. It's going to be in his hand all the time. Brian Callahan's coming over. They're going to have a high pass.
See, the offense, it really isn't going to be that much different than Jacksonville. And honestly, like, every offense is so similar now versus 15 years ago.
Big time money. Calvin released the bona fide one to me.
And he got big money last year.
It just was not consistent last year.
Right, and it wasn't consistent last year either.
No.
So there. Had to throw that in because I'm so sick of hearing about Calvin Ridley.
Right now, we're running back to the 2024 NFL season with the first one, Tajay Spears. He's the guy I don't anticipate ever being in the bell count when we call him a hot roll, but Spears had 52 receptions last season, and this team is set up to throw the ball a lot this year to see what they have.
Heavily disagree.
He's the better back in this backfield. 2, Chase Brown. The Bengals brought in Zach Moss this offseason.
Then this one's dumb.
Chase Brown in this backfield, but I do anticipate him overtaking Moss as the lead guy, which should be one of the best offenses.
Overtaking Moss as the lead guy. Chase Brown last year played more snaps on special teams than offense.
Well, now they're going to need him on special teams because of the new rules.
Yeah. So, I'm Zach Moss all the way. He's way down there in drafts too. He should be on this list for breakouts.
I see that. Fucking.
Wait, what do you see?
Oh, I'm looking at the comments. I know who's going to be coming up, and I'm just going to roll my eyes because that's all anybody will talk about. Fucking Vidal.
No.
This team needs Kendrick to take some load off of 29-year Kamara, especially on early downs. What Kendrick will do this season and look like the air replacement. That's kind of like Vidal. Some people think Gus Williams backfield. Other think Jay Cable. My guy's Vidal. He went to Troy Bowl, is very productive. Can make people miss. Has good size and athleticism and has 3-down skill set.
With Vidal here, the Chargers backup, I'll give the guy a little bit of the break. This was done June 23rd.
Yeah.
There was like a camp report the other day or two on Vidal's thing that was like someone was basically saying when they're scrimmaging he's clearly like third or fourth.
Yep.
So
yeah,
there'd have to be a lot of injuries for him to even play, and then if he, still has to play well.
Right. My eye roll was more through all of the fantasy football TikToks and stuff. All the superstar running back that you have to take is Vidal. It's like he hasn't done anything yet. Yeah. He hasn't proven literally anything yet. And even this comment, Vidal, 1,600 yards and 30 touchdowns last year in college. It's like, okay, college.
Yeah.
You also face a lot of scrubs in college. It's very different. Let's wait and see. And everybody's like, nah, he's gonna be this breakout. Watch out, fucking Christian McCaffrey and everything else. It's like he hasn't played a down.
Yeah, and then two more things about Vidal. By the way, he went in the 6th round for a reason, and he's shorter than me. So
no way.
Something to keep in mind. At least with the height, he's got listed on Sleeper.
Overtake both these guys this season. 5 Marshawn Lloyd. I see him as an early career Aaron Jones with a movement free Aaron Jones was the thing. When Lloyd touches the ball, it looked like he's the best guy here, so maybe
I know. In USC, they didn't run the ball for shit.
Where'd he go?
Green Bay. So, yeah, Marshawn Lloyd is the 3, by the way, because they re-signed Dylan.
Yep. Well, so he
signed Josh Jacobs.
He has 2 rookie Packers running backs on here.
Or Vidal's the Chargers.
No, but he had somebody else.
Kendrick Miller?
Yeah, Kendrick Miller.
That's with the Saints.
Oh, he must have. Okay.
But basically, Yeah, I had to throw this in because I'm not hyped for any of these backs.
No.
It's like the one whose ability I like is Spears, but
Sure.
will he play a lot? You know, is Tennessee going to move the ball like we've been discussing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I've never been very big on Spears. I like Pollard this year because I don't know how well they're going to really run the ball and move the ball very much, and Pollard's proven that he can move it when need to. Great that he had a bad year last year, but
yeah. And then it's like Pollard and Spears, both kind of passing backs. Were like last year, okay, Henry was your first and second down, you know, running up the gut. Or, yeah, this year they do the same things. And then I like how this guy has wide receiver, but he doesn't even post.
right. Really don't
Oh,
understand
it's
why.
just an advertisement, I guess, for the next video. Oh, here we go.
The first one, Jaden Reed. Second half of the season, breakouts for rookies is what we look for in fantasy football. From weeks 10 through 18, Reed was wide receiver 10, averaging over 17 fantasy points per game.
Now, the thing to keep in mind here is Christian Watson, the wide receiver they took early second round the year before, was not playing a lot of these weeks because of a hamstring injury.
Yep.
So just something to keep in mind.
Passing offense is setting, yet he goes in the 6th round of drafts. 2, George Pickens. In games without Deontay Johnson last year, he averaged over 16 fantasy points per game. Then once the OC and QB changed, we saw Pickens erupt with games of
Yeah,
105
Pickens.
and 131 yards.
He's a guy not to forget about. Honestly.
Last season, so you can land a number 1 target for their team in the 5th round. 3, DK Metcalf, another number 1 target for their team, currently being drafted around wide receiver 20 to 25 range. He's finished as a top 24 wide receiver for the past 4 seasons and has a top 10 finish under his belt. Does he finish as a wide receiver this season? I don't know. But this team should run the ball more than years past, so you're getting him at his floor. Forward Rasheed Rice, another rookie broke out in the second half of last year, averaging over 17 fantasy points per game.
And
As long as the suspension is around 3 to 4 games, he's a tremendous fine. And 6, check out running backs dropping it.
And like even like, not gonna say any names, but like I don't get why people just love Rasheed Rice when again they just took Worthy.
Yep.
They signed Hollywood Brown.
Yep.
Kelsey's still there. And even
might
if he's
not
suspended a few games, whatever, still play him or still pick him up.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. I like the Jaden Reed one. I think he is actually really undervalued. I think he'll have a spot. I'm actually really big on a lot of the Packers players going into this year. They do actually have a pretty easy schedule, too. George Pickens, though, undervalued, sure. Russell Wilson's throwing to him.
Yeah, you got to throw to someone.
Yeah, but Russell Wilson has not done great the last 2 years. Russell Wilson's been really bad the last 2 years. So
He wasn't the only problem in Denver, but
no, Sean Payton was the problem. But I don't know. So I'm not as high on that one. DK is fine, but he's not going to be a 1 anywhere. He's
my problem with DK too, even he said it. Okay, he's being drafted as a wide receiver 25, but we're hoping he's top 24. So, okay, he's only undervalued a little bit.
right.
Yeah.
So and then Rasheed obviously shouldn't even be on this list.
Yeah. Yeah, we agree on that.
There's a second-year wide receiver in the NFL that might be the most underrated player in all of fantasy football. Right now, this wide receiver is being drafted in the 7th round as the 45th wide receiver off the board. When last season as a rookie, after adjusting to the offense in the first 5 games, he went on to average over 15 fantasy points a game last season, which is more than Amari Cooper, Jalen Waddle, and Devontae Smith. This wideout finished his rookie year with over 900 yards and 7 touchdowns. But before I tell you what it is, if you're looking for a fantasy football league,
So this has got to be what, Puka or Tank Dell?
The second-year wide receiver is Rasheed Rice for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Shut the
Everyone
fuck up.
considers Rasheed Rice possible suspension, but 2 seasons ago there was clear evidence of Alkmaar beating up the dude, and he didn't get suspended until the season after he did. And when he was suspended, it was only 3 games. What Rasheed's dealing with isn't as bad, and I think there's a real chance he doesn't get suspended at all this season. And if he does, it's 3 games at worst.
I even thought he was going to say like Jordan Addison or something like that. I was like, I don't even know if I want Jordan Addison this year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I guess, again, like with all the Rashi Rice people, I would be more hyped if they didn't sign Hollywood Brown, if they didn't just draft a wide receiver in the first round.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, I'm not big on Rice either.
Absolute must draft player. Okay.
Even then, you can't say he's a must draft if he could potentially miss 5 games.
Yeah.
Then he's not a must
Or
draft.
even a few games. But it sounds like since they haven't said anything, he's not going to get suspended. But
Right.
still, I just late in drafts, you taking him or Keon Coleman? Him, Lad
McConkey,
him, D-Hop.
D-Hop, 100%.
So
he's not even
really on your radar.
He's not on my draft board at all. Let me ask you with Jordan Addison going into a dynasty, right? 2 years in a row, he's had issues, right? And
off the field, you mean?
Right, off the field issues. He's solid though on the field, right?
Yeah.
You can give him that, but the quarterback play, obviously I know you're not big on JJ anyway, but quarterback play, you don't even know what you have going on there. But he was really, really solid for his rookie season, right? But even after a teammate dies, he still has a DUI problems and stuff. Is he somebody on your draft board, or are you trying to stay away from somebody like Addison?
Well, not in redraft
No,
leagues.
for Dynasty.
But Dynasty,
Knowing he could potentially miss a few games this season, even though that's even up in the air. But with all the issues going on right now.
yeah, but I mean, other people going around him, I probably like more. Again, Keon Coleman, Lad McConkey.
Yeah, because he's about where Rice is too, huh? Ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't even know if I have Addison necessarily on my board right now. Like I'll keep him in players only because he's perfect for depth, but
I thought Jackson had him.
no, I have him. God, I hope he's not watching. I'm trying to trade Addison for Brandon Ayuk, and he's this close to taking it.
What are you throwing in with it?
Nothing.
Wow.
He's so scared that Ayuk is going to go into the Commanders or something that he's willing to take Jordan Addison for him. And I've tried threatening. I was like, as soon as I hear Commanders, I'm withdrawing this trade. And stuff. And I'm trying to get him to pull the trigger so hard. That's gonna be one of those. Hey, you guys took away your veto button, so you can't say shit. I'm gonna get a notification that the trade is being rejected because he's gonna see this.
Players you need to be targeting in your fantasy football draft this year. Number 1 is Amari Cooper, who's coming off the top 20 PPR finish last season. And Cooper's 5 games with Deshaun Watson, he was on pace for 1,600 yards and 95 receptions. Cooper is currently going to wide receiver 29, making him a huge value this season.
Okay, so you know I'm a Cooper guy.
Yep.
When I'm doing mocks though, Cooper Kupp is like right in that range.
Yeah.
And I'm Kupp over Cooper.
Yep.
Trying to think, even he's a rookie, but Malik Neighbors is in that range too. A little bit more intriguing to me than Cooper. Browns added Jerry Jeudy.
Yep.
I think he takes some targets. Cooper is also 30 years old. The wheels could fall off any moment.
Yep. I'm not a huge with drafting anybody in the Browns, period.
Yeah, that's always your thing, yep.
They just, in general, besides the running backs, I've never had good luck with drafting any Browns players.
You remember that one Browns receiver? You traded him, and then like 20 minutes later he broke his hand at practice or wrist or whatever.
And he tried to veto it. Or you try to reverse it because he is the commissioner.
Yeah.
So, in general, though, I was like, I've never been too big on Amari Cooper. Anyways, I recognize the talent, but there's other people I'd rather have.
No.
And even we can even talk about Rachaad White here. I'm not crazy about White either. I don't know. I know you kind of like him a little bit more than me.
In Dynasty, and I can talk about that a little bit, like, we learned this year he got a lot of carries, not the most efficient, meaning a lot of short carries, and not because it was like 3rd and 1 and he was getting the ball. No, just kind of like Alexander Madison, just a lot of dud runs. But no, late in rounds, Zamir White, Zach Moss, much better values than just like last year. Okay, I took Rachaad White a lot.
Yep.
Late. And now this year it's going to be Zamir. It's just kind of, I look for values. So, no, Rachaad White is not a guy to target.
Rachaad White with 64 catches last season. His Tampa offense has proven itself with Baker Mayfield, and Rachaad White is a big part of the season.
Let me ask you this. Rachaad White, I remember one guy around him on like mocks, redrafts, is George Pickens.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you like between those two? Since you were kind of knocking Pickens earlier.
Yeah. I'd probably go Rachaad White just because I'm not. I always go for that wide receiver depth, but I do need. I undervalue running backs a lot.
So then what about DeAndre Swift is right around Rachaad White's?
I take DeAndre Swift.
Okay.
I like Swift better.
I like White better, but I go Pickens over him.
Three goes rookie Brian Thomas Jr. for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The 6'3" wide receiver ran a 4.33 NFL combined, and the loss of Calvin Ridley in Jacksonville that leaves 136 vacated targets that are all definitely not going to gain Diggs.
Yeah, that's kind of that's kind of the knock there with Brian Thomas Jr. As far as players who target, Gabe Davis is there, and Christian Kirk, who's still proven or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think Brian Thomas, he has some good games. He starts to figure it out, but it could kind of be a JSN year where he just the wide receiver room is too crowded.
Before we go to this, because he's just gonna spout nonsense, and everybody knows how you feel about Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
And I said this off stream, so I'll just say it again. Anthony Richardson is a great number 2 quarterback.
Yeah.
He should not be your first quarterback, but if you play in one where you have the super flex spot, he's the perfect quarterback to target for that. Or if it's 2 quarterbacks or something like that, he's the perfect quarterback too. He shouldn't be somebody that you specific target to get in the first round where he's going right now. He's a late-ish round 2, or maybe even early round 2 if you're at the back end of the draft on something like this. He's perfect for that spot. He shouldn't be as high as he is on ADP.
Yeah, and then for redrafts, I believe he's like a 4th or 5th round guy.
Too high.
Yeah.
And that's coming from somebody who loves him and who thinks he's going to do really well this season. He should not be a quarterback 1.
He's pretty much got to play every week for him to really be worth that. And, yeah, I mean, again, we're both a little worried about the injuries. And will he be consistent?
I don't mind his gunslinger craziness, run the ball like nuts. You know, he could be fucking Christian McCaffrey and still throw the ball. I'm fine with that. You can't get a concussion every single play, though.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. If he can stay healthy for even half a season, he's perfect for your QB2. So.
This is Anthony Richardson. Unfortunately, his rookie season was cut short due to an injury in Week 5 that required shoulder surgery. His strong arm and rushing ability gives him the potential to be a top 5 quarterback in 2024. And the 5th player targeting in 2024 is Zach Moss.
Finally, a good take. It's crazy. This guy's like a 10th round pick. He was a stud with the Colts. He broke out just a year ago.
Yeah.
And if anyone out there is watching this and you are saying Zach Moss sucks, you don't believe in him, play with me. I will take him. You don't have to. You can take whoever else you like in the 10th or whatever round, 9th or 10th round. Just leave him for me.
Yeah. I don't mind Zach Moss at all. Because, he goes so late.
It's stupid how late.
And they run the ball pretty decent in Cincinnati, so.
Yeah.
If he falters, don't surprise him. Our second overall pick starts posting top 12 fantasy performances this season. Zach Wilson earned that after the QB Denver is going to find a way to be fantasy relevant. Denver traded Wilson despite having Jarrett Stidham, despite only making select quarterback who's low overall pick. Sean Payton still wanted Wilson. He got free work.
He was free.
Yes. Broncos wide receiver room is balanced. Better than Jordan Sutton, Josh Reynolds, and Fitzpatrick.
Oh my
This is
God.
not a wide receiver room to be bragging about. Shut the fuck up.
Explosive young wideouts, it's larger than this, and rookie Troy Franklin to make use of Wilson's rocket arm. Their backfield climbed for 150 running back targets, most in the NFL. If Bo Nix definitely the answer, maybe not. If he won't,
Okay, even if Bo Nix isn't the answer, you have to play him for almost an entire season. Because you picked him fucking 12th. You have to let him play.
Yeah.
Even then, you and I have said this a million times on stream. Joe Burrow had a really bad first year.
Yep.
Now he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You got to give them time. You can't just be like, oh, we wasted the 12th pick. We're just going to put in Zach Wilson, who has proved nothing for years.
Yeah.
And he had a great fucking team last year,
Yeah.
and he did nothing. He has a worse team now.
And the coaching staff last year, they were so afraid to have him throw it a lot. They were just running like crazy. Like, yeah.
Worst
Zach
take
Wilson,
we've
too, just watching him, I wish he was a little bit bigger, a little bit better arm.
Yeah.
Like, I still scratch my head how he was the number 2 pick. Just because it's not on size or athleticism. Like, what made him? I don't know what the fuck the Jets were thinking. But my favorite line in all this, let me see if I can get to it. Top 12 fantasy performances. How many over under 3, or we'll say 2.5 top 12 fantasy performances this year by Zach Wilson will he have?
0.
So
0.
for 2.5, you're saying the under.
Under.
So even half, you would take the under.
No, he's not gonna play. He should not see the field unless Bo Nix goes down injured.
Yeah.
He shouldn't. He should not see the plate. Bo Nix should be your starting quarterback unless he's just not ready. Right?
Yeah, and the little bit of action, Jared Stidham was honestly more impressive than any Zach Wilson play last year. That Kansas City game is overrated. I don't know why people bring it up.
Let Stidham play a little bit, and it's
Sunday night, I guess, but.
Here is a wide receiver you need to target in fantasy football who's being slept on. This guy finished 4th last season and is being drafted wide receiver 15. Nothing major has changed in his offense, and there's no reason to think he's going to do worse. Drafters are fading this guy, but they need to stop because he has proven he is timeless. He just got another contract this offseason, and he's going to go for another 1,000-yard season. Before I tell you this fantasy target, make sure you hit the follow button, and if you want to make sure you win your league, I just released my full free draft guide. Comment the football emoji if you want access. The wideout I'm taking is Mike Evans. Here is a wide receiver you need to target.
And yeah, so since this video came out, Mike Evans, he did sign like a 2-year extension. Still, where he's going, like around DK Metcalf and Cooper Kupp, Keenan Allen, he's kind of okay there, kind of fair.
If I have, so I know you're going with Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
Right, but let's say Cooper Kupp's off the board, so you have Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, and then who else did you say around there?
Malik probably is, if you're gonna ask me.
Yeah, and I'm the same. I'm not. I like Mike Evans too. The season I had him, he didn't do very well though. He actually did really bad. But I'm going. I mean, I'd go him over DK. But I'm going Malik over both of them. Yeah. I'm going Cooper Kupp over all 3 of them.
Yeah, so we're the same on that in that tier of receivers. My thing is like, if I'm gonna like target someone, like him more this year, that kind of thing, I want some kind of upgrade, whether it be coaching, quarterback. No, it's the same thing. So, I don't really see any reason to gotta get him in the 3rd or 4th or something.
No, not at all. Nothing's changed on the team. So,
Are getting fantasy football.
Yeah, we already saw this.
There's a running back in the NFL that might be one of the most overhyped players in all of fantasy football. Right now, this player is being drafted in the 7th round as the 25th running back off the board. This running back has been in the league for 4 years, and last season, this running back had a career best in attempts, yards, receptions, and touchdowns, yet he still only finished as the RB29. This back is also going to be on his 3rd team in just his 5th year in the league. If he can't find a team to keep him, you shouldn't be keeping him on your fantasy team either. But before I tell you who this running back is, if you're looking for a fantasy football league to join this year, you can join mine. Just DM me the word win, and I will save you a spot. The running back is Zach Moss. Everyone is excited.
And now I remember why I threw this one in here, because he's bashing on my guy. Again, he's a running back in the 9th, 10th round, and you're really telling people to fade him. Like, that late in drafts, you're betting on upside. A lot of upside there, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know what... Chase Brown, he had like one 53-yard touchdown run.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that last year, I don't really know why people believe he's just going to be like this all-star now. He was like a 4th or 5th round pick.
It's the same thing with Calvin Ridley. And even, what's his name? Patriots running back.
Ramondre Stevenson?
Yeah, people just can't not just sit on their dicks, basically, right? Because Ramondre Stevenson, every single year, he's going to break out. He's going to be great. It's been, 3 seasons, 4 seasons? He's on, and he hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
Chase Brown, I think he's still pretty young, but he hasn't done anything yet either. Calvin Ridley hasn't done anything in 3 years, maybe even longer than that. For some reason, fantasy football people, they stick to one guy forever and don't give up even if they suck. But even then, something I think about too is our 16-man that we just did. By round 10-ish, half our league was on auto, right? Because you're shooting for certain people, or you build a queue and you're just hoping you get it, or you just don't care at that point.
Yeah.
He's right there. I mean, you're just taking a shot at somebody, so who cares?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just telling somebody to fade somebody that late is stupid.
Like, I mean, a question for like this guy or anyone, you know, again, because Zach Moss is like one of the last starting running backs you can take.
Yep.
Like, what backup running back are you going to take over Zach Moss in fantasy football?
Yeah.
You know, none. Because why would you want a backup? I mean, in a lot of leagues, he'll be a backup on someone's bench.
Yeah.
Because they won't be like me and try and draft him late and you actually use them.
Here's the thing, though, too, right? So he is overhyped or whatever. He's finally got his starting job. But he was behind Jonathan Taylor last year, and he was still getting snaps. I mean, that should tell you right off the bat.
And
Jonathan Taylor's a fucking stud, and you're still putting in somebody else over him?
And, like, beginning of the season when JT was holding out or injured or whatever that situation was, Zach Moss was killing it to start the year.
Yep.
I picked him up in, like, 2 different leagues, traded him for picks, and I do kind of regret that because I thought, you know, JT would come back. But, no, he's got ability.
Yep.
So, no.
Bad take. Again. Big surprise.
Before last season, he's never had a season with more than even 500 rushing yards.
Start and roll.
See, it's crazy. Like when he was with the Bills, and he was the backup, and like he was kind of like the passing back there, but like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just wouldn't. Oh, because he was he didn't play a lot with the Bills, and then with the Colts he smashed it. So now we'll go back to being bad or whatever. Yeah. And I mean, obviously the Colts aren't gonna keep. I'm not saying he's better than JT abilities, so I'm not gonna give him a hard time for the Colts taking Jonathan Taylor over him.
Right.
So-
We're not talking about Alexander Madison, right? We're not talking about somebody who's been a backup forever, finally gets a starting role but doesn't deserve it. He at least deserves a shot at the starting role.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, the guy's talking about him like he's Alexander Madison, and like he had a shitty season last year. No.
Only reason he popped off last year is because of Shane Steichen being a genius for this Colts offense.
Okay.
That's gonna be one of the dumbest takes we've seen all day. What the fuck?
Okay. Okay.
Dak Ross is going to flop for both the Bengals and for your idiot league mates that end up drafting him.
No? Guess I'm the idiot that's gonna take him.
These are the absolute worst picks of each round in fantasy football. Round 1 is 8. I cannot believe he's going in round 1 after his horrible second half. It was atrocious. He had
I mean, okay. Like, the guy should say, you know, I like other guys, you know, because this is the first round. I like everyone else over him, but, like, he's sitting here acting like the guy should be, like, I don't know, like
Round
he's going to be a, calling him atrocious and stuff, or, like, not be drafted at all.
That's wide receiver 36. He even got minus fantasy points the final week of the season. Round 2, it's Devontae Adams. He was still the wide receiver 10 last season, but again, this is an offense that's not going to be pass heavy. They're going to run the football a lot. I hate that pick.
The Josh Jacobs is bad.
Yeah. The Devontae Adams, too, like, I still think, I mean, yeah, the quarterback situation is bad there, but, like, okay, if JJ was in the second round, I think we would both take him in a heartbeat.
Right.
And I feel like that's kind of with Adams. I like Drake London a little bit more in the second round, as I've said on here. I mean, you could even talk me into, like, Chris Olave, but after that, there's kind of a gap before I would take someone over Adams. And then Josh Jacobs in the third round. Let's hear how this is a bad pick.
In round 3, it's Josh Jacobs. They just drafted Marshawn Lloyd, who I expect to take Jacobs' spot later in the season.
Okay, hold on. he just said Marshawn Lloyd's going to take Josh Jacobs' spot.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs, one of the most electric running backs in the league right now. And he's just going to take the rookie's going to take his spot. Are you fucking... He's high.
Yeah, and Marshawn Lloyd, he was a third or fourth round pick, played at USC last year with Caleb Williams and really didn't do a whole lot, so I don't know where people get that analysis, but we'll keep going.
Big contract doesn't matter. Jacobs isn't the same running back. Round 4, it's Malik Neighbors. It's a horrible pick. Why would you take a rookie who's on arguably the worst offense in all of football in round 4?
So, years ago, Jamar Chase was like a fourth or fifth round pick, and totally fucking smashed it and got like fifth overall for receivers his rookie year, something crazy like that. Like, and funny enough, they went to the same college, LSU. So I don't like this take at all.
One of the fastest wide receivers they've ever seen. Broke the record.
Only 20 years old, coming into the NFL. Like, dude's fucking nuts.
And as somebody who's been watching Hard Knocks, I haven't watched the latest episode, so I don't know what's going on there yet. But he actually seems like really well-rounded. He's got people behind him that's good. Not like the people that have, like, you know, their squad that's hyping them up, a bunch of yes man. He actually seems legit and good head on his shoulders and stuff like that too. So, and that's somebody that I like taking when you don't have like a bunch of yes men around you, because then you actually try. Malik Neighbors is an easy. I take him in the fourth round, easy.
Yeah, me too. As we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
He's not going to produce to the level we think he will. And Ken Walker in round 5 is a horrible pick. Zach Sharp, they've already said they're going to get him more touches. I think it's going to be a 60-40.
And like, okay, this guy's text is going a little bit too fast.
Yeah.
So Ken Walker, fifth round, I'm okay with. And just because a coach, I mean, we should know by now, everyone in fantasy football, if a coach says someone's going to get more touches or less touches or whatever, we really can't believe that until we actually see it come game day. Like, there's Antonio Gibson years ago. Oh, we're gonna give him touches like Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Didn't happen.
No. And then we've already kind of talked about this with Jordan Addison. He's kind of off our boards right now.
Yeah, it's really just because the quarterback play.
These are the absolute worst.
Stupid.
And then I think the next one is.
Here's how I drafted from the 7th.
These are the
Yeah, we'll just keep going.
Yeah, the rest of
Here's how I drafted from the
the
7th spot in my 12-man fantasy league, and with the 7th overall pick, I took Breece Hall, who's going to finish as either the RB1 or RB2 this year. In the second.
Guaranteed RB1 or RB2. So with Rodgers coming back, I like Bijan more. But anyways, Barkley in the second round.
I like Barkley.
Who has an extremely strong floor behind the Eagles O-line. And then in the third round, I got my wide receiver 1 in Cooper Kupp, and in the fourth round, I
He's not falling that late.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp is.
In the fifth round, I drafted.
I got him like 310.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Okay, so then Mahomes 4th round, Keenan Allen 5th round. Do I like the Keenan Allen pick? Yeah. I mean, the dude definitely needed a receiver.
Yeah.
But
I would probably would have went with maybe running back depth there personally, over even Mahomes. I would have waited, but let me say this about fucking Breece Hall. Everybody's all, Aaron Rodgers is coming back. Aaron Rodgers is coming back. Jets are going to the Super Bowl because Aaron Rodgers is coming back. He hasn't done shit in over a year. He hasn't done anything. And they couldn't even find him for half the fucking offseason because he was hiding.
yeah.
We don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do when he comes back. He might go down first snap again.
Hey, that Rodgers for David Carr trade is still available for you.
Well,
Derek
no,
Carr.
I'm not. I'd rather roll the dice on Aaron Rodgers. The problem is we don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. If he goes down to snap 1, are you still going to make that trade?
Well, no.
Exactly.
Because he's not playing.
But he's not going to play probably ever again if he goes down again. He's 40. Like, hey, people need to get off Aaron Rodgers' dick. Jesus Christ.
My wide receiver 2 in Keenan Allen, who averaged the 4th most points per game last season. And then when the 6th round came around, I drafted George Kittle, who's been top 5 in fantasy for 3 straight seasons. In the 7th, I drafted Deontay Johnson as our wide receiver 3.
I don't like
and
that
this,
pick.
this is going to be a weak. All right, you got Cooper Kupp, but then your wide receiver room's kind of weak, buddy.
Wide receiver 1 in Carolina. And then in the 8th, we scooped up James.
And I'm not ready to guarantee Deontay, even if he's a wide receiver 1, how much he's really going to score. Thielen's still there.
Yeah.
They just drafted a guy in the 1st round. The year before that, they drafted a guy in the 2nd round.
Right.
Out of Ole Miss. I can't think of his name. Big dude. But then, that 1st round guy, Alexander Leggett or whatever.
Something like that. And then we still don't know if Bryce Young can get it together. Because he had a couple decent throws, but otherwise it was really bad last year. We have to wait and see what's going on there.
And then this next pick, James Conner. Little weird because I think in sleeper ADP he's like a 7th round guy.
Yeah.
8.6. I don't know what number that translates to, but I feel like this is, if you're getting him in the 8th round, you're kind of lucky.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not too high on James Conner this year anyway.
In the 9th round, our first bench spot goes to old reliable Tyler Lockett, followed by Kobe Myers, who scored 10 touchdowns.
Wow, okay, I like the Lockett one a lot more than the Myers.
Yeah, I'm just not. I hate Lockett.
Last season, then in rounds 11 and 12, I drafted Jerome Ford, who's going to be the week 1 starter for Cleveland.
Just because Chubb will be hurt,
Miller, who might be a league winner if he takes over the backfield in the second half of the season.
Yikes. I don't. Kendre Miller, he better do something this season, or I never want to hear about him again.
He's
I'll
gonna
put
be
it
the
that
next
way.
fucking Ramondre Stevenson. All I'm gonna do is hear about him and Vidal for the next 5 years. It's gonna drive me crazy.
Yeah.
Here's how I drafted with the first overall pick.
I think you'll like this first pick.
First overall, I drafted the easy.
Okay.
I I'm okay with it. Personally, I'm going CMC.
Sure. I'm good with that too.
And then in the second round, after
No.
no.
You don't take both.
And we talked about this. I like doing that, or I'm okay with it more in best ball, because then whoever has a good week, you get their points. In redraft or in stardom lineups where you actually set players, then you're basically saying one guy will do good, the other one, won't be his week. So you're kind of setting yourself up for, maybe not failure, but just okayness. Then if the tight end does well or something, then you're really fucked. But yeah.
And then in the third, I drafted our RB1 and Derrick Henry. With both of the Dolphins wide receivers, I wanted to stack him with two as our quarterback later on, but when the fourth and fifth round came along, I couldn't pass up on Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews both just sitting there. With our sixth select.
The dude just drafts from the same team over and over. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And
I'm not crazy about that strategy.
And I've told you, I'm not crazy about stacking either. I think it's overrated. I don't like people's argument is just like, oh, well, if they have a good week, then you just win. Okay.
And then when they
what
have
about
a
the
bad
other
week?
or okay, that's 1 week. What about the other 16 games they play, So yeah. Or what if Lamar gets hurt, then they all just suck. I don't know.
Right.
Action, I drafted David Montgomery, who's a top 15 back.
And then bye weeks are screwed. If anything, I try to diversify as much as possible.
Yep.
And that's some again why you guys should do mock drafts so that you're not picking the same teams.
And then in the seventh, I took the risk and drafted Rashee Rice. I think it'll pay off. And then in the eighth, I drafted reliable Tyler Lockett to start in the flex, and Josh Palmer in the ninth. He's going to be Herbert's wide receiver one this year. In the 10th.
Whoa, okay. Wide receiver, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that take.
No, I really don't.
Especially with what's coming out of camp. This is made July 11th. But yeah, McConkey and Quinn Johnson, a lot of good things coming out. Only a few days in, but oh well.
In the 11th, I grabbed some running back depth in Austin Eckler and Chase Brown. They both have standalone value and handcuff upside. And then in the final round, I drafted my favorite sleeper in Pop Douglas. Let me know what you think.
Who's hurt right now?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not crazy.
Yeah, not a whole lot of upside with him. So we forgot to do this on the last one. We'll go back and do this. Okay. What record do we think this team is getting? So I'd argue you're weak at running back because I don't know how crazy you are about David Montgomery this year. Is he going to steal a lot of touchdowns? I don't know. Like he did a year ago. And then, like I was complaining about, when you got guys on the same team, okay, Henry's going to have good weeks and maybe Andrews, but then you're just like, okay. Or if Henry has a good week, okay, then Jackson is scoring low and Andrews. But
we're going with, 12 weeks?
Is that what a regular fantasy football regular season is?
Because you have 3-4 seasons of,
So you have 3
playoffs?
playoff games. You're normally done the week before,
So
18. So 14 games. What's this guy's record? No, we won't even care about win versus median. I'd give this guy
7-7.
Oh, okay, you're generous there because I was 5-9.
My only thing is on his good weeks he's gonna be really good, right? The thing is, the bad weeks are gonna be awful.
Yeah,
awful.
The Ravens bye week. That's an automatic loss.
And I even think the Ravens have a similar bye week to the Dolphins this year.
Yeah.
Or at least it's pretty fucking close. So you might be absolutely fucked
Then yeah, Rice, Lockett, Palmer, they're also close. I feel like you're kind of guessing there. I don't know. This wouldn't be my team.
No.
I'll put it that way. You don't have enough firepower in the wide receiver room and running back room to
And I
go that far.
absolutely hate the Hill and Waddle back to back. Especially, okay, if you're going to draft from the same team, that's fine, but it can't be rounds 1 and 2. There's too much talent there.
And that I agree with you too. If you are going to do that later, or one guy early, one guy later, or two guys later rounds, yeah, 1 and 2. Even Tua, if Tua goes down, then this guy's still fucked.
Yeah. And
Lamar Tua.
Tua had that really bad scare, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
He might not even play again.
I remember this time last year, people were saying trade him in dynasty leagues because he's not going to make it. His head's going to fall off, basically.
Right. And I like Tua. I like Tua a lot, but he gets another scare like that, he has to be done. So, yeah, I don't like this team at all.
Yeah. All right, let's go back to the other one. Let's just skip to the end. So looking at it again, all right, your running back room is great. Wide receiver room, And sure, you got a good tight end, but is Kittle really going to move the needle?
No.
I like having a good wide receiver at flex instead of just a running back because they're kind of up and down. Wide receiver a little bit more boom because I assume we're talking PPR here.
6 and 8.
Yeah, I'm probably there with you because I like this team a little bit more than the last one.
I like it a little less.
Week to week.
I think his bench is super weak. Bench is too weak. I hate the flex. I'd rather go somebody else than Kittle. I would have picked different kind of depth for that. And then just picked up somebody later for tight end. And then you could have got it better for depth because he sucks in depth. Yeah.
So I guess we agreed though, 6 and 8.
Yeah.
If you draft any of these 3 fantasy football players this year, I have bad news. You're not winning shit. The first is Dalton Kincaid, and this is the #1 guy that I'm out on this year. I'm not sure why everyone's predicting this guy to have an elite 1,200-plus yard All-Pro season. The Bills went away from the pass after they fired their offensive coordinator after their Week 10 loss on Monday Night Football to the Broncos. From that point forward, Dalton Kincaid averaged 4 receptions for 40 yards a game and had 0 touchdowns. And he's set.
So he did end the year kind of quiet because they were running the ball more.
Yep.
But we're getting rid of Diggs, and Keon Coleman's going to be good, but still a rookie. They got to throw the ball to somebody.
Yep.
So I
There's also so much drama on that team last year because of Diggs. That team was an absolute disaster.
Yeah.
In the later half. See, you can't put that on Kincaid.
Yeah, so I like Kincaid, but going around that same ADP, I like Kyle Pitts more.
Which is an absolute trash take. Kincaid has done way more in 1 year than Pitts has done his entire career.
Pitts had the better rookie year than Kincaid's rookie year.
Significantly better than Pitts. Significantly.
All right, yeah. We'll make a bet then on who has a better year.
If you and I did a thing where we were bullshitting in a draft and it's, hey, we have to take a tight end round 1, I'm taking Kincaid over Pitts. I'm taking Kincaid probably over Tyreek Hill.
What about Kelsey?
Over Kelsey in a dynasty.
Well, that's not a hot take. Because, Kelsey's got a year left. He's year to year, basically.
Well, I'm not going to say I'm going to take him over him in a redraft.
I would take Pitts over Kelsey in a redraft this year.
Oh, my God. That's the stupidest thing you've ever said.
It's a bold take. I got the balls to say it.
It's an awful take.
But yeah, saying to fade this guy, just so random to me. It's like this guy was just scrolling through ADP and just landed on Kincaid. I don't know, what? Yeah. Just because he ended the year kind of quiet, that's the reason to fade.
Let me ask you this, because you're so high on douchebag Pitts. You taking in a dynasty? You taking Laporta or you taking Pitts?
Pitts.
Oh my god, that's so bad. That's such a bad take.
Pitts has got the better quarterback. No. Well, they both play in a dome.
Oh my god, you can
Laporta,
not be serious.
Laporta, he just had like he hit his ceiling last. Like the idea that he's gonna have another good year like that, like a tight end one, he'll be up there though.
Oh my!
Because I was the guy on Laporta before any other motherfuckers.
Right. Okay. But now you're jumping ship as soon as he's like, oh yeah, he is good. See ya. I'm going back to somebody who hasn't proven anything.
Back to Pitts.
He hasn't proven anything.
Hey, how did T.J. Hawkinson do with Kirk Cousins versus Jared Goff?
Okay. T.J. Hawkinson was also very good with Jared Goff as well.
Just like Pitts. Oh, wait. Well, no, Pitts didn't play with Jared Goff.
Okay, you also said Desmond Ridder was going to make it as a quarterback in the NFL. And even after 4 games, you're like, just wait. Just wait. Where is Desmond Ridder now? Oh, my God.
That's a quarterback, and that's different. Pitts.
You're right. It is different. I would have expected to see more out of Pitts by now.
But again, it doesn't concern you at all that, again, Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, both played with Hawkinson, and TJ did a whole lot better here with Kirk.
It was a better system. Plus, there was more targets at the time with TJ. TJ had a better team around him now. Great. Well, when Kirk Cousins was quarterback, than when TJ was tight end over with the Lions.
Yeah,
better system,
Jared Goff's gotten better. Okay.
Well, Jared Goff's gotten better, but the team itself is better. The team in general, the Lions team period, is a lot better now than when TJ was on it. 100%.
So, do you think like Kirk is like only going to throw to Drake London, and they're just going to run the ball with Bichon?
I think Pitts can't catch the fucking ball.
Yikes.
I think, JJ is arguably the best wide receiver in the league. Even when JJ came back from injury and Josh Dobbs was throwing him the ball, JJ was still making plays. Doesn't mean that Josh Dobbs was throwing him good balls. Dobbs almost killed him in a couple plays, but he was still catching the ball. You saying Josh Dobbs is better than Desmond Ridder?
Well, unfortunately, he probably was. Well, again, the system, the coaching was better here.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
with that. The coaching was awful last year.
That's why KOC still has a job and Arthur Smith got fired in Atlanta.
Well, KOC's also shown a lot more promise than Arthur Smith ever could. I mean, he benched their fucking running back because he was throwing a temper tantrum on the sideline. You don't bench somebody.
Let's get this back to Dalton Kincaid here. I would not be, maybe another hot take for you, I would not be surprised if Kincaid scores more fantasy points than Laporta.
I don't think that's that much of a hot take. I'm higher on Kincaid this year than Laporta, but I'd rather have Laporta overall.
Yeah, I would rather have Laporta. I don't want to spend a second-round pick on him in a redraft league or a third.
I don't do that with tight ends, period. Okay, let me ask you this. Brock Bowers. Are you taking Brock Bowers over Kincaid, Laporta? I know you're not going to take him over Pitts because he's your fucking god, apparently. But
I'm not taking Brock Bowers over no tight ends. But I don't care what his ADP is. It's already too high. And you're laughing, but you're even lower on him than me.
Oh, I am 100%.
You're the guy saying he's not even worth a second-round pick in a rookie dynasty.
But it just seemed like because we argued about him for 15 minutes last stream because you seemed a lot higher on him. So I thought you would be like, oh yeah, take him fucking as fourth tight end. or something.
I'm like, so Brock Bowers, right? I'm lower on than most people, but yeah, you're like the lowest they come.
Yeah, I think it's stupid to take him.
All right.
So there should be more targets.
Who else should we not draft?
Well, but they brought in Keon Coleman and Curtis Samuel to fill that role. If the Bills really thought they could
Curtis Samuel.
why wouldn't they have beefed up their offensive line or their secondary in the draft? They clearly don't think that. That's why they went out and got Keon Coleman. Taking this guy over Kyle Pitts or Travis Kelce,
Hey.
or Kittle or Trey Pride or Mark Andrews is ridiculous. The next is Keon
I agree.
He's 31 years old, injury prone on a new team. Why is he being taken over guys like Tank Dell, Christian Kirk, and Hollywood Brown? He could very well be the number 3.
So those guys were like all
I couldn't really.
Actually, I would kind of take Christian Kirk over Keenan Allen, but yeah, that was kind of too fast because he's 31 and playing for the Bears.
Okay, yeah, I would take Tank Dell over Keenan Allen. Sure, I would take. Who else did he say? Over.
He's 31 years old, injury prone on a new team. Why is he being taken over guys like Tank Dell, Christian Kirk?
So Tank Dell, I'm not. Yeah, I'll take Keenan Allen in a redraft league over Tank Dell.
I'm not. I'm taking him over Hollywood though. And then.
And Hollywood Brown. He could very well be the number 3 for this team. And let's be real, a rookie's not going to support 3 top 20 wide receivers.
Yeah, because Rome isn't going to be a fucking top 20 receiver, dumbass.
No.
Fancy. No matter how good
He's
Caleb
not year
is.
one.
And the last is Josh Allen. I mean, come on, guys. We've learned our lesson, right? You just don't take quarterbacks early in fantasy football drafts. There's just no advantage. If you draft...
So I'm okay with that reasoning. Like I cringe like if you're taking Josh Allen in the second round, third round now.
Right. Round 4 though. I mean.
Yeah. If you're gonna take a quarterback early, it better be him.
Right. The thing is like he's like, don't draft these guys, right?
But then
so
like the 2 videos before, he was taking fucking like Lamar in the 4th round and Mahomes in the 4th or something. So a little hypocritical, but you know, that's TikTok. We'll say one video here that makes sense, and then we'll totally contradict ourselves in the next video.
Right. A lot of this it just depends on how the draft falls, right? If all of a sudden somebody takes Lamar Jackson at the very end of round 3 or something like that, and then you're like, fuck, all right, quarterbacks are going early for whatever reason. And in this draft, Josh Allen lands to me in the middle of round 4. I'm going to debate on taking him because he's quarterback 1 almost every single year. So that's a stupid take. Josh Allen is a stud, so whatever.
Here's how I drafted with the 8th pick in my 12-man fantasy league using the 0 wide receiver strategy. In the first round, I drafted Bijan Robinson to be our RB1, but we doubled down on running back in the second when we got Jonathan Taylor, creating the best running back duo at the entire fantasy league. In the third round, I drafted Travis Kelce. By now, you guys should know it's never too early to draft Kelce this year. And then in the 4th, I tripled down and drafted Isaiah Pacheco to start on the flex. I finally got our first wide receiver in Calvin Ridley. While he wasn't what we wanted him to be last year, he still put up over 1,000 yards and finished as a top 18 wide receiver. In the 6th, I drafted Chris Godwin, who's outperformed his ADP 6 years in a row, followed by year 2 stud Jackson Smith and Jigba in the 7th. With our stud running backs, I thought I was done drafting them, but I couldn't pass up on Jalen Warren sitting there in the 8th. And then in the 9th, I drafted Justin Herbert's wide receiver 1 and Josh Palmer for wide receiver depth. In the 10th, I took a quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, who's going to be a top 10 QB this season. Then to finish off the bench, I got more wide receiver depth and rookie Adonai Mitchell, and my league winner that I recommend everyone draft in the 12th round this year, Mr. Pop Duck.
Before we even discuss the individual picks, what record are we giving this team out of 14 games? I say 3-11, and that's kind of being generous.
Yeah.
That wide receiver room is going to hold you back
so much.
Yeah.
I would do 4 just because of the running backs. But
looking at this too, I thought this guy said he took Herbert, or did he say he was taking Lawrence over
he took
Herbert?
Lawrence over Herbert.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is bad. This is really bad.
Actually, I'm seeing Pacheco at the flex. I might need to go down a game. I'll give him 2 and 12.
See, he lost me right at the 3rd round.
With Kelsey?
Yeah. Like, okay, Bijan, great. Jonathan Taylor, great. Kelsey, stud, right? I mean, you take him if he's there and it's just too good to pass up.
And like,
I just don't feel like he's a early 3rd with a no tight end premium.
So I guess again, if you're doing zero wide receiver strategy, who would you maybe take in the 3rd? A better running back than Pacheco for your flex?
Yeah. Yeah.
Trying to think who would be. ETN might be around there.
I would take ETN. Because then I would want the cream de la crop for running backs, right? Because you have to.
Yeah.
You have to take the best of the fucking best at running back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And quarterback. I'm not waiting to the 10th round to take a quarterback if I'm going no wide receivers. You need Lamar Jackson or Tua or Josh Allen to combat having no wide receiver depth. you can't take Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. I like your strategy, and I think the whole 0 wide receiver thing, like.
And you don't take Calvin Ridley round 5.
Yeah, or like here like to support your argument. Think about what do you think the points difference is greater? You know, between Ridley and some wide receiver in the 8th round, or Lawrence and Josh Allen. You know, the Josh Allen and Lawrence, the bigger difference. So, yeah, I like what you're saying. 4th round or 3rd round, go running back. Probably Travis Etienne.
Yeah.
I wish I could think about who else is maybe around there, but yeah. And then 4th round, yeah, probably Josh Allen, Lamar. Okay, you know, get your stud quarterback.
Even if you take Pacheco again, you have to take a quarterback round 5. Have to.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the 4th, that's where like your big hitters are going. And then in the 5th round for tight end, then you can get one of your Andrews, Pitts, Dalton Kincaid.
Right.
You're still that's where like a lot of hitter tight ends go. So,
and even if you want to go like big time running back, kind of crazy, you could go Lamar, or you could even wait around and take Anthony Richardson, right? If you want fucking heavy runners and that's it, there you go. Take Anthony Richardson. Take Lamar. At least Richardson you can wait around if you absolutely love Pacheco, like some people do. You could wait that round for Anthony Richardson probably. I don't know. It just doesn't. Yeah, his drafting didn't make any sense.
And like nitpicky kind of too, but if I'm gonna go 0 wide receiver strategy, then I gotta get some wide receivers that actually have some real upside. A.D. Mitchell, no. DeMario Douglas, just because 6th round pick, cool. He might be a starter with the Patriots, but like to think he's gonna put up tons of points, at best he's Julian Edelman scoring, which isn't that great. Josh Palmer, okay. But like
saying he's going to be the number 1 wide receiver on that team is the stupidest take that keeps popping up.
Yep. I mean, in the 7th round, I would probably go McConkey or Keon Coleman, you know, as I keep saying in all these videos, basically. You know, D-Hop is also down there.
I'm not huge on JSN either.
Not this year, right?
I think I took him last year in 1 or 2 leagues, maybe more in like redraft wise, and I wasn't impressed watching him.
Right, because he's still behind Lockett and Metcalf.
Right.
So
and it's going to be the same situation.
And also, I think this dude took Ridley over like.
A lot.
Over like Amari Cooper. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's definitely better wide receiver. Or just at least
So-
wide receivers with more upside, but I guess he thinks Palmer is going to be, just this stud top 10 wide receiver, and Quinn Johnson and Vlad McConkey aren't going to get any balls.
That, and I guess for a super hot take, I'd rather have Adam Thielen than Calvin Ridley. So, and I'd rather wait for somebody like Thielen than take somebody like Ridley. Because Thielen has better upside half the time.
Yeah, they both are on a second-year quarterback. Will Levis, Bryce Young. I think right now they're kind of looked at as the same. They both play outside.
You could wait a lot longer for Thielen than you have to wait for Ridley. I'd rather have Thielen.
And Thielen had the better year last year, so to a lot of people that'd be a hot take. But actually, look at the top comment. Dude just donated to his league.
Oh man, yeah, that's
Pacheco going in the second in my league. Oh my god,
that's a yikes.
Yeah, that guy's donating. If you're taking Pacheco over like a Taylor or something, but yeah, you never said out of 14 games how many is this guy winning?
Well, you said like 2 or 3.
I'm down to 2. I'll give him 2 and 12, and that's being generous. Honestly, I would just give this guy like none, because one, Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Taylor, like I don't know, those guys aren't gonna carry you.
Yeah, I'm at
Kelsey.
I'm at like a 2 or 3 win season too. I mean, you are wasting so much talent on this fucking team. You're wasting Bijan.
Yeah.
Taylor. This is like one of those fucking teams that we play with where it's auto pick.
I was just gonna say where you went auto the whole time,
and you just have to look at all these players that you want. You would love to trade for it, but you'll never see him because the dude's not even fucking playing.
Yep. This dude's about to go.
This is like literally a definition of an auto pick team.
Yeah. All right. I think next one is the last one.
Draft strategies in fantasy football this year. If you want more tips like this on your timeline this offseason, make sure to hit us with the following. The first strategy is called hero running back. Essentially, what this means is that you're going to take a running back in the first 2 rounds of your draft to anchor the position on your team. You want to target guys with every down workloads like CMC, Bijan Robinson, Breece Hall, or even Jonathan Taylor in the second round. From there, you're going to wait until the 7th or 8th round to target your next back so you can focus on building out the rest of your team. The second strategy is elite tight end. Elite tight ends are the cheapest they've ever been over the last few years. Guys who used to have to draft in the second round are now going in the 4th round. And someone like Mark Andrews, Trey McBride, or Dalton Kincaid hits this year, you have a tremendous advantage over quite literally 60 to 70% of your league mates. So the last...
No, you don't. It's fucking tight end. We've talked about this before. The scoring between one and another is not that major. We just got a question. Would you take Henry or Olave? I can't choose PPR.
So I would say.
What did you take in the first round?
Yeah.
If you have a minute to tell me.
The first round. I'm assuming you're probably in the 3rd round. So first and second round.
Well, Olave's like a 2nd round pick.
Late.
Mid to late. Yeah. Henry is kind of. I kind of like Henry because. I feel like Chris Olave, Breece Hall. Is Drake London still on the board? DJ Moore, keeper.
I'd probably take Olave.
I kind of like
Henry. Actually,
I kind of like Henry more. Yeah. Unless Drake London's on the board, then go London. No, London got kept. Damn. That guy, whoever did that was smart.
Yeah, I'd take Henry.
Yeah. Because I feel like Olave is going to be solid, but no, like, or not a whole lot of boom weeks, kind of because of the quarterback situation, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I like him more in Dynasty, too, where I assume, well, yeah, this is a redraft or a one keeper. All right.
Yeah.
What's the next draft strategy? Opportunistic RB.
Otherwise, you need to draft a running back because this is one starts to slide. You can focus on switching up value instead of over under prioritizing the position. These are the top 3 draft strategies in fantasy football.
So, of the 3 strategies, what one do you like the most? Let's go through it again. Hero running back. You take one good back early and then forget about it.
So, I've seen you try a couple of these in the mocks. At least taking with the hero running back a little bit. I prefer the last one because it's just more. If you like the running back, then you take him, and that's kind of how I've been drafting. I feel like my draft strategy this year is a lot different than I have done in the previous years.
Yeah.
With it being more, because football's changed a lot in the last 2 years as far as how teams attack the football and stuff like that. I feel like you have to be super well-rounded in almost all your positions, otherwise you're gonna fail, right? You have to be decent in every single category, maybe not necessarily tight end, to win your league, right? You have to have good running backs and good wide receivers, rather than previous years. You could have those really big stud running backs squad, and they'll take you for half a season, right? I don't think that is viable this year.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess your strategy is more best value while at the same time staying balanced.
Yep.
Where I guess me for a redraft, I'm punting the running back position because again I like Zamir White and Zach Moss towards the end. What was I saying? Yeah.
Right. So you're more of that first type rather than the other two.
Yeah, or whatever one was forget about running back, basically. Focus on receiver. Also, again, or what I was going to say earlier, the difference between a high-scoring wide receiver and a low-scoring wide receiver, the margin there is a whole lot different, or there's a bigger gap than between the best running backs and a good running back.
Yeah.
At least nowadays. And I feel like I've said this before on other streams and takes and stuff where like 9 years ago when I started playing, 10 years ago, running back was more important, and if you didn't have a good running back, you were fucking toast.
Yeah. And the tight end strategy on this is stupid. And we've said this a billion times. You don't need the top 3 tight end. You really don't.
Right.
Is he cool to have Travis Kelce or even a Kincaid or Pitts or something like that?
Yeah.
Sure. It's cool to have that as your trophy, whatever. Pitts especially, he's going to get you the same 8 points that Dalton Schultz is going to give you.
Yeah.
There's no point.
Yeah.
Now, the only 2, maybe 3 tight ends that I would say maybe they go higher is Kelce, is Kincaid, is Laporta. And that's it. And that's because they're kind of the wide receivers of that team as well, especially Kelce.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't know. I'm not crazy on the tight end space as it is, period. But running back, I don't know. I went that route last year where I didn't take fucking running backs, and I took the studs of the studs for wide receivers, and I got fucked.
Yeah.
So I feel like this year you got to be a little bit more of the well-rounded.
Yeah. So I did that last year. I guess in the regular redraft league, that we got first and second in. I definitely punted running back and tight end basically.
Yeah.
But I know I had Kincaid and Laporta and guys like that later on that were hits.
Yep.
Where this year I kind of have those feelings about Keon Coleman, Ladd McConkey, Quinn Johnson in the later rounds. So,
Yep.
yeah, a lot of receivers. But yeah, I'm always punting running back now.
Right, and I feel like especially when you do the deeper drafts like we just did, if it's any time to go deep on a wide receiver, it's this draft because there's lots of hidden ones, there's lots of select ones that you can choose, where you don't have to go super wide receiver heavy at the very beginning because there's a good amount to choose from if there's a deeper draft. We just had the one, and I have like 10 wide receivers, just because there's a lot to choose from, and you never know who's going to really pop off in a certain year. So, I don't know. This video is stupid, though.
Yeah, and when it comes to strategies, too, you know, what format are you playing? Like, you shouldn't just, okay, I'm going to go with this strategy, even though I'm playing, you know, if this is a best ball like we did last year, and then a point per carry, you probably don't want to go zero running back in that.
Right.
Because then you're going to have backups, and you're not going to start winning until the starters get hurt, if they get hurt.
Right.
You know, don't want to be that guy.
Yep.
So.
And then going into this year, right, we've played a lot of fantasy football over the years.
Yeah.
Where are you at as far as the type of fantasy that we've been playing with, like redrafts, best ball, dynasty? What's your favorite going on right now?
Oh, dynasty.
Dynasty.
Just but yeah, what we got doing? What we got doing in players only? Dynasty, best ball, 12 teams.
Yep.
Trading allowed. 4 rounds, rookie draft. Yeah, that's the cream of the crop.
Yeah. I'd agree. I really want to play with some of the settings when we get towards middle of August, and mess with some stuff and do some crazy scoring and different formats and stuff. So I think that would be interesting. Even like a lot of the no trade, no free agency has been popping up on my feed for stuff. I want to try a couple of those just to kind of get a feel for it. 'Cause we just like the draft anyways, so it'd be kind of cool to do some of those.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep. So I guess back to players only, 12-team best ball dynasty.
Yep.
The whole switcheroo thing that we're gonna vote on.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot to bring this up too. You know, this year, because I'm not gonna have a lot of guys that I'm cool with just dropping for the random wide receiver 4, I'm not gonna take as many Hail Marys because my team will be so loaded. So just something to keep in mind when you guys vote on that. And I feel like your team, I don't know how many. I mean, if you want to go ahead and drop good players, but don't be pissed when I pick them up.
No.
Just something to. But so I'm just saying, like, they hated that I did that, but I feel like now by taking it out, like, we're not really getting screwed, but they're kind of screwing themselves. But
right. See, and with Dynasty, I'm okay with it for the most part. I think regular season, whatever, do it, Playoffs, though, it should be your team, right? Where it's not the switcheroo stuff. It should just be straight up your team. This is what you brought to the table. This is what the team that you've been building all year. It should be locked in, right? But during the regular season, I don't fucking care. Do what you want.
Yeah.
Redraft, though, it should be absolutely a no. Because it doesn't matter who you drop, especially in the playoffs or even a championship game, because you're just fucking throwing dice at the wall, and I don't care if I lose those players. They only gave me 2 points anyway.
Yeah.
So, redraft, it should be
next week. Yeah.
It should be an absolute fuck off. Asterisk by your name if you win type of situation. Dynasty, though, it should be whatever.
But
Hunger Games for the regular season, playoffs. This is the team you
Asterisk by your
brought.
name, but what if both people are doing switcheroos?
No, it's still a fucking fuck off. That should be a straight up. That is the ultimate workaround cheating.
You're on stream, you're acting like you didn't do it too.
In Dynasty, absolutely.
Yeah, because you made the playoffs in that league. Yeah.
I was the
Like the
championship game.
Yeah, and you did it. You dropped like what? 4 guys, picked 4 up.
They did nothing.
So none of my switcher. Well, yeah.
Yes, they did. They got you over that hump. But
in the redraft, yeah.
yeah.
Playoffs.
But that was before. Hey, it was. Nobody said shit about it. Nobody said shit when you did it. So I was like, "Fuck, I gotta do it."
That was funny. Yeah, that one Tebow guy.
Yeah. So.
Oh, phone just died out of battery.
Yeah.
Or what we're using for a webcam. And again, that was the last video. So.
Yeah.
440. I think we're good.
Oh yeah.